Day 15 of camp, the Broncos were back in pads. It's the dog days of summer indeed, but we're ready to rock and roll. Big Al joins us. Broncos Camp Daily starts right now. Hello, and thank you for joining us for Broncos Camp Daily. I am Phil Milani, joined as always by the Hall of Famer Steve Atwater, and our guest today is big Alfred Williams. Thank you so much for joining us.
Man, appreciate you guys for having me, man. It's just been it's been one of those years where it feels like training camp got off to a nice, cool start, and here we are, like you said, dog days of training camp after 15 days. It feels like we are in it.
Well, before we started here, you were saying this is some real football out here. These days, this is when the team comes together, right?
Well, this is when you find out who you are as a football club, because it's just tougher when you consider all the things that go with the beginning of camp, the excitement. You haven't seen each other. You're putting on pads for the first time, and then you go play a game, and you come back out here. And today was a warm one, and as we're sitting here right now, I imagine we're right around 92, 93 degrees. And of course, that sun is beaming high in Colorado, and it's warm. It's warm,
yeah.
So it tests you. It's always good to find out who is jumping offside, who's dropping passes, who's making critical mistakes in this, because it may begin to tell you who you are or who that person is as a teammate.
Well, after that first game, unfortunately, we came up a little bit short, but who jumped off the screen to you from watching the game?
Nick Bonito and Jonathan Cooper, man. I just thought that those two guys, as reservists, give us the kind of support that you only think about when you think about guys like Shaq Barrett, who was in a supporting role to DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller. Those two guys were as good as advertised. The defense, the first team and second team defense, delivered the way that we thought that they would. And Garcia, by the way, had a wonderful day with 2 sacks. And Henderson had a sack, and he was active with his hands, and he was violent.
When you watch the games, do you watch the interior still? Like you're looking at your old spot?
No, he watches the edge, because he mentioned edge. The first thing he mentioned was the edge players.
That's right. But also guys who are extreme, right? I mean, when we started talking about Bonito, our second-round pick, and Coop was drafted the year before. Man, these guys they're not average, man. These are extreme athletes, and you got 2 veterans that are in front of them that have been paid a lot of money, and Frank Clark and Randy Gregory over the years. But I'm telling you that we are so deep there that I would not be ashamed or scared to put those guys in as starters.
100%.
Like, you just don't get it. It's so hard to find pass rushers, and finding guys that can run 4.4, 4.5 at that position.
Freaks.
They're freaks, man. They're freaks. So, yeah, but I watch it all. I'm watching, I'm watching Cortland. I'm watching Jerry Jeudy. I'm watching the whole tight end group just to see what happens. But I'm not really watching the running backs right now, because I don't know which one of these guys are going to make the team and have a tremendous impact besides P. Ryan early on in the season.
We'll have to see what happens here with Javonte Williams, how much work he gets. Let's go down to field level here and check in with Sidney Jones.
Thanks, Phil. We're here checking in with running back Javonte Williams. Javonte, training camp's coming to a close here. Just a few days left. Overall, how's this year really been for you?
I'm really still looking at it as a blessing, just being back on the field. A lot of people were saying it was going to take a lot longer than what it is, but I'm feeling good. Training camp going well, and I'm ready to play this weekend.
Yeah, how are you feeling out there, and how beneficial has this training camp really been for you?
Yeah, I feel like just grinding, how we've been doing, like the 6 days straight and stuff like that, is really good for my knee, just strengthening it up. Let me see a whole lot of different stuff that I'm probably going to see in the game. The biggest hurdle left now is just getting tackled, and I feel like everything else already checked off the boxes.
How excited are you to get it back out there?
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to go. I can't wait. I think it's been, almost a year since I played. So, just getting back out there. I'm probably be nervous a little bit at the beginning, but once I get tackled, it'll all go away.
Yeah, what are your expectations, I guess, just for yourself in your first game back?
Just to trust my knee, just to go out there and not think, not try to be hesitant or anything like that. Just go out there and play free and have fun.
Sean Payton, he said he seemed pleased with the run game on the first preseason game. Being on the sideline, what did you see, from Samaje P. Ryan, Tyler Beatty and Jaleel McLaughlin?
Yeah, I feel like everybody ran physical, was breaking tackles. Jaleel and TB got the speed to break a lot of long runs. P. Ryan, I feel like me and him kind of the same kind of back, just running hard and just getting through things. But just Sean Payton bringing that versatility. You never know what we're going to do. We're not always running. Sometimes we line up at receiver, running routes and things like that. So just keeping defenses on their toes, I think that'll be good for us this year.
Yeah, how much are you looking forward to that duo, you and Samaje?
Yeah, I'm ready to get it going. Win some games. I'm tired of losing, so yeah, just winning some games. That's all I'm really worried about.
Thanks for taking the time to talk today.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Phil, I'll send it back to you.
Thank you very much, Sydney. Al, a lot of eyes, a lot of pressure on Russell Wilson, of course. It's a quarterback-driven league. What did you see from him in that first game, and what do we need to see if the Broncos want to get back to their winning ways?
Well, I think that what we saw is, I think the audience saw for the first down a slimmed-down version, first of all, of Russell Wilson, and I think his movement was evident, and he looks good. Physically, he looks good. I had a block pass and a couple things that were out of rhythm, a couple sacks that were in there. But what I did see that I loved was a screen game. And I know it's not something that the fan base is really clamoring about right now. But as you start to see teams play against the Denver Broncos, maybe last year, in the entire year with Russell Wilson last year, we may be looking at less than 10 to 15 screen plays. I think in that game against the Cardinals, we ran somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 or 7 screens. So if that's going to be part of our base offense, that's going to be good. I'm looking forward to Russell Wilson having a nice season this year, somewhere around 3,800 yards, somewhere in the 24, 25 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions. I look for the Denver Broncos to be 11-6 this year.
Okay, all right. My prediction is a little bit higher than that.
Oh, 11 is good. Come on, I'll take it.
What'd you have?
I'll take it. I was right around there with
What'd
you.
you have,
At 13.
Okay.
Steve's got 17-0.
Hey, you know what? We're always 17-0 until somebody beat us, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
that's the way I go at it as well.
Right. So now there have been people talking about the game. They watched the game, and some people are saying, well, Russ, he didn't get the ball off fast enough. And other people are saying, well, the offensive line, they didn't do a good job of blocking. What did you see from the film, areas there where we need to improve?
Well, certainly we gotta be better in picking up blitzes. As we mentioned, I think Russ hit the ground 4 or 5 times in that game. I mean, you just extrapolate that over the course of 60 plays, and he's on the ground 15 times. I mean, you can't have that in the NFL. We have to be better protecting. We got beat individually. We got beat on some schemes from the blitzes. There are things that we can do better, and I think that we will. And I think when you listen to Sean Payton talk about it, he brings up in no uncertain terms that we have to be better up front.
It seems like every time there's a transaction made, we're signing another receiver. From my point of view. What do you see at that position? I know Courtland Sutton, he's been looking like he's back to the Courtland Sutton of old. Jerry Jeudy is looking great. What other guys are standing out to you at that position?
It's funny because, the guy that I really expect to make this team, and I think he's going to make it because of special teams, is Jalen Virgil. There's something special about that guy. Every time I see him, he's a bigger man than he was last year. And every time he does something, he does it so effortlessly that you think to yourself, we just got to see more of this.
Yeah.
I mean, the one catch he had last year was a 66-yard touchdown, right? And then he got one carry this past game, and it was like a 23, 24-yard run. And you just say, oh, my goodness, every time this guy touches the ball, something good happens. But in general, this team is hurting after Tim Patrick went down, and we need to find if Mims can step up and be the kind of receiver that we think that he can be, he's learning to become a pro. But Jerry Jeudy, man, I'm telling you something. I just got a good feeling about this guy right now, and I just know it's going to happen for him if we can keep Courtland Sutton healthy. I think Mims is going to be somewhere in that third wide receiver set at some point. We're going to be good. I think that this team is settled in nicely at the skill position, but I do see what you're seeing with all the wide receivers coming in.
What kind of difference does a guy like having Sean Payton here, a guy who's had that experience, he's been a Super Bowl, winner. What kind of difference will that make for Russ this year?
When I consider head coaches, I always consider their staffs and how they call offense and how they call defense. And certainly our defensive coordinator is a guy that we all know as the Bronco country. and Vance Joseph, but our offensive coordinator / head coach, he has some tricks to him. And I've seen so many wrinkles to his run game, so many wrinkles to his passing game. And he's got a bunch of gotcha plays that he's got stored up from memory and from his past and coaching that really helps a guy like Russell Wilson. You know, that creativity that we were promised last year, it just never really came. And I think this year we're going to get to some of that, launching the ball down the field, the one-on-one with the big receiver and Cortland Sutton. How do we use our running backs in space? Are we going to go empty and have empty packages? Will we give our offensive linemen help in obvious pass situations? We had, I think, 2 or 3 times this past game where we just said, okay, we're going to protect the quarterback, and had 7 and 8 man fronts on 7 and 8 man protections that gave Russell Wilson more time to throw the football. And that's what you need. That's how you protect the guy. That's how you get those huge chunk plays. And that's how you end up with a gold jacket for Russell Wilson.
Big Al, thank you so much for joining us. I
Bro,
appreciate
it's
it.
always good seeing you guys.
We love hearing you on the radio.
Right.
You've been doing good?
I've been doing well, man.
All right.
Go Broncos. That's all I got.
All right. I love it. That's going to do it for us. For Steve Atwater and Alfred Williams, I am Phil Milani. This has been Broncos Camp Daily.